This brand here has a pretty bold slogan. Less bullshit, more gin. Yep, that's their slogan, and I fully agree. If you love a more classic gin and isn't very fond of all the new bubblegum gins, if you love perfection and details and simplicity and really don't like the mass-produced bottles or fabricated stories, then this Anholt gin is just for you. And let me tell you why that is. Hi guys, and welcome to High on Gin. Okay, I'll admit it, I love Danish gin. As a Dane, I am so proud of the many distillers out there who are giving us a chance to enjoy the fruit of their passion, their craftsmanship, and often some of the local Danish botanicals are used in these gins. With well over 350 Danish produced gins, there is plenty to choose from. So if you think, what should I try? Let me try to help you out here. And in this episode here, we start on one of the most unique islands in Denmark, the Island of Anholt. And you'll find this little island in Kattegat, midway between Jutland in Denmark and Sweden at the entrance to the North Sea. The island is a small, very small island. It's only 11 kilometers long and about 6.5 kilometers wide at its widest. The unique nature is immensely versatile. It contains both the flat landscapes and dunes. It has dense forests and has open heath. The island's most notable area is called the desert, which is a large area of dunes and heath, and is actually the largest lowland in Northern Europe. But the best part of it all, from a gin lover's perspective, is that there is these unique juniper berries all over the island. So whether you're looking for togetherness or solitude, if you whatever you're looking for, the key words for visiting Anholt are immersion, its nature, and its simplicity. And that goes for these gins as well. Anholt gin is exactly the essence of that. A local gin that focuses on bringing the best out of the few botanicals that they use to reflect the uniqueness in the Anholt juniper berry. And to do things right, even if it takes time or if it's a tough and cumbersome task. These two gins here, an Anholt gin in general, is created by two friends, Jakob Kjærgaard, who lives on Anholt and also has a tavern there called Dørken. You should go see that place and visit that place and taste the gin there. It should be really cool, that's what I heard. And then there is Thor Dixgaard. He is a famous Danish musician with huge love for Anholt. And if you don't know his music, well, I can't play it here because of all the, legal rights, but I could play it myself so you know his hit. That would be terror, right? I'll just stick to the gin, but I'll throw a link up here so you can check him out, and you should. But this whole project here, Anholt gin, is so cozy, it's so laid back, it's so cool. I just had to remake my little studio here to be even more comfortable and, just be more relaxed when I'm talking about this cool project. But the coolest thing about the project is this: it fucking works. This gin is exactly why I am so proud of the Danish gins and the Danish gin makers. The result is simply divine. It's classic and very simple, but in the best sense. And yet, it shows the uniqueness of the local Anholt juniper berry. And then it proves another thing. In a previous episode, I tried to explain the uniqueness of the juniper berry. And I'll put a link up here if you want to check that one out. But the best part of it all is that these two gins from Anholt prove my point in that episode. That is that the juniper berry has a huge impact on the gin itself. And let me try to explain what I mean by introducing and tasting these two gins here. The first one here is simply known as Anholt Gin. It's made with 4 botanicals: coriander seed, angelica, lemon peel, and then local dried Anholt juniper berries. These berries are hand-picked by enthusiastic people from near and far who gather in week 42 each year to pick the berries and having a blast while doing that. Yes, if you want to join the group, you can. Just check out Anholt Gin's homepage and get more info there. The berries are then put into these vacuum sealed bags, and then they are frozen until they are needed. Here they are thawed at room temperature and then dried on these large surfaces until they have a feel and not least a sound that sounds just right, that indicates that the berries are just right for being distilled. I mean, these guys actually use their ears to determine when the berries are dried enough. I just love that little detail. It's just craftsmanship at its finest. The water used to water the gin down is also local water from Anholt. And the reason for using this water is because the local water is so incredibly soft and clean. There is hardly any calcium or magnesium in the water, and they have never had any farming on the island that has used any pesticides or fertilizers. And that is exactly what you're looking for when you want to produce spirits. So where other distillers would have to use systems like reversed osmosis to filtrate the water, that's not the case here. The water is simply perfect for this. And the result? Well, it's a very smooth classic gin with great softness. Let's try this one. Oh yeah. In the nose, you can really get these piney notes combined with these citrusy flavors, all carried by this very light, delicate alcohol. And when you taste it, wow. The juniper, it's very present, but it's perfectly balanced and very delicate. It has these kind of darker, woodier, softer notes that are followed by citrus notes. And that, has this slight dryness at the end, the dryness from the angelica. This gin here, it's like it's hugging me and taking me on this smooth journey on a soft cushion. It's like, listening to cool rhythm and blues sitting in this super comfortable armchair in a room with dim light. I don't know if you get my feeling. I hope so. But that's the way I feel when I taste this one. This gin here, it really just begs for a classic fever tree Indian tonic and a lot of ice, of course. And I just love it like that without any garnish. But if you want to use garnish, well, you could use a rosemary twig or a lemon peel. But I just love it like that. Using a fever tree Indian tonic, it's not overpowering the gin, but it really complements the gin perfectly. But back to the juniper berry and proving my point that this little berry here has a huge impact on gin, and even with a small adjustment. And that's why I want to introduce the second edition here. This one is called the double female version. The funny thing is that this gin here is exactly the same gin as this one, but with one difference in mind. And that is that the juniper berries in this gin here has not been dried at all, but are distilled fresh. Besides that, everything is exactly the same. It's the same ingredients, it's the same amount of ingredient, but the result, it is very, very different. Yeah. Both the smell and the taste, it's suddenly much more fresh, much more piney. It's like if they have added spruce shoot to the gin. To stay in my musical comparison, it's like the music just changed from this warm rhythm and blues to this more funky music where the lights have been turned up and the beat is on. I got hold of some of these fresh juniper berries from Anholt, and I wish that you could smell them. I wish that you could feel their oiliness, and when you taste them, you really get this sweetness that are in these very special juniper berries. I wish that I could share them with you, because then it would be so clear how much of the taste from these berries that are carried over to these gins here. This one here, I would serve this with a fever tree Mediterranean tonic and a small piece of lemon zest to build on these lighter, more this freshness that are in this double female version here. And I'm using this little piece of lemon zest just to make sure that the gin and tonic doesn't get too sweet, but really stayed balanced. And if you're thinking of buying an Anholt gin, I wish you would get both of them, the twins here. I don't know if I should call them yin or yang, or Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. They're the same, but they're so different. Maybe that comparison is stupid, but I don't know. Maybe you get my point. But if not, just buy the damn gins and taste my point yourself. So guys, there you have it. A local gin that is less bullshit and much, much more gin. And that really showcases the uniqueness of Anholt Juniper Berry, and showcases how amazing gin is, and how even the smallest of detail has a huge impact on the final results. Until next time.